pick our teams for the game. It could be an interesting team selector. Gorsty, I'll come to you first. Are we assuming that Alisson is in goal and then possibly one or two changes across the back line?
Yeah, it's an interesting one. They said a couple of Italian journalists in the press conference kind of asked me for the probable lineup, and I was there for about 5 or 10 minutes trying to think of what it actually might be. And I think Trent will play. Tsimikas, Konate will come back in, and I think he'll still go with Van Dijk. I had someone suggesting maybe Calvin Ramsey might start and maybe Van Dijk might drop out, but I don't think he's going to go fully cut with it. I think that'd be me midfield three. Me back four, Alisson in goal, and I'll tell you my midfield three after the two others have given theirs. Yeah,
mine's pretty similar to you. I think we might see James Milner at fullback, but I fully expect to see Tsimikas and Konate. Lynchy, do you want to talk us through your back four?
Yeah, I think a good opportunity to get Konate in, and I wonder whether, because there's not a lot riding on it, and I think it's going to be a selection decision between Gomez and Konate at the weekend to partner Van Dijk. Maybe just this is an opportunity to maybe give Virgil a night off and maybe pair those two in the centre of defence. Obviously, Tsimikas at left back, I agree with that as well. And Trent has missed some games this season, so it's maybe not got as many miles in the leg. So maybe could maybe do this one again. And I think Alisson, it's different for goalkeepers, isn't it? In terms of they don't cover huge distances or anything like that. So you could probably keep him in for this one.
Yeah, Kiefer, do you want to talk us through your defence as well?
Yeah, the same as Gorsey. I've gone with Alisson in goal, Trent, Konate, Van Dijk, and Costas. I think as Gorsey says, obviously, you won't go fully cut with it, and certainly talk of putting Calvin Ramsey in there. I can't pronounce the lad's name, but against that Georgian lad on on the left would be an almighty ask, wouldn't it? So and Trent, he obviously missed a game against City, so he's had a couple of weeks in the legs, nothing like he's been used to in that sense. And then obviously Klopp said earlier into that Konate been training for 8-9 days, so you expect him to come back in alongside Van Dijk. And then, as good as Robertson was on the weekend, another one just, to patch him up and let him have a night off ahead of the game at Tottenham on Sunday.
Yeah, Kavica, Kvaratskhelia. I've been practicing it in the sort of the build up to this game. Looking forward to seeing him on the left wing for Napoli. Hopefully he plays and they don't rotate him. I am certainly looking forward to watching him. But let's move on to the midfield. Then, Gorsty, do you want to talk us through it?
Yeah, well, the reason I'm going with Milner right back is because I'm putting him in midfield. It's basically just kind of patch it up as best as possible. Milner's one of the few who can play. I'm going to go with Milner, Jones, and Oxlade-Chamberlain, Keita. Obviously, it's a tough one, isn't it? You're trying to give players a little bit of a breather, a little bit of a break from it all, essentially. Maybe Henderson. I'll go with Henderson because obviously he didn't start, did he, on Saturday? So he might be freshest of the rest of them at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Henderson as well. He didn't start, so I think he'll come in for this one. I think I'm going to go with a 4, though. I'll go Carvalho, Henderson, Fabinho and Jones. I know Fabinho could do with the rest, but there's not too many other options. Lynchy?
Yeah, I like the idea. Actually, it is a tough one, this, because it sort of kills you, doesn't it, for the options with Oxlade-Chamberlain in case not being in the squad. So, Milner not starting at right back, so definitely starting central midfield. I think alongside maybe Henderson, and then I think Jones probably, if he's going to stick with this 4-4-2, maybe Jones coming in off the left and Elliott on the right, maybe. I think that sort of gives you maybe options then to change things up before Tottenham and gives the sort of key men a rest. I think if Henderson does start in that midfield, if he does come in, then you'd maybe want to just give him a few minutes, 60 minutes, and maybe sub him just to sort of keep him fresh, because I think he will. I'd like to think he might come in to a midfield 3 at the weekend, but we'll see on that one, I suppose.
Yeah, that's kind of my thinking as well. I think Fabio Carvalho didn't play at all, did he, at the weekend? So I'm going to go with him. Kiefer, midfield?
I've gone a bit different. I've gone for the diamond, but kind of persisted with Fabinho. You know, I mean, what other options are there to really then other to try and play him into some kind of form, and maybe tomorrow night, fingers crossed, might be what's got to be better than Saturday. And then obviously for Henderson, obviously not playing not starting even on Saturday. I've gone for him. And then it was a bit of a toss up between Carvalho and Milner. Because onto my last pick, I've gone with Jones just off Núñez and Salah. So that was why I was tempted to put Milner in there, but I just think obviously Carvalho, he hasn't started, has he, since the 7-1 win over Rangers? So, you know, you could do with some minutes, and you know he's probably not going to play at the weekend, is he? So you're probably looking at, you know, throwing him in there and kind of giving him some more time. So yeah, that'll be my 4: Fabinho sitting, Henderson, Carvalho, and then Jones off the strikers. I think obviously he kind of got thrown in, didn't he, at Forest unexpectedly with what happened to Thiago, and you know obviously it wasn't a position that he was comfortable in, and I just think obviously he's had such a stop-start, you know, last 18 months or so, really, hasn't he, Jones? And you know maybe it's be better to see him in a more advanced role. You know, it kind of feels that, you know, when he does play on that off the left of the midfield three, what it used to be, you know, it probably wasn't his role. You know, kind of saw how he flew through the ranks in the academy, playing, you know, on the left of a forward three and then behind the striker. So I just think tomorrow, you know, you've not got an awful lot to lose if you do lose the game, and you know, it might be one to just, you know, add something more to kind of his assets and maybe just kind of see how it fares.
Yeah, it was James Milner on the pre-match press conference, wasn't it? So that's usually a surefire sign that they're going to start. But we shall see. Ghosty, your attack?
I imagine we've all got the same attack, because there aren't any options, are there, really? These lads are probably counting down the days for the end of that Southampton game, and you can have a bit of a rest. So obviously Firmino, Núñez and Salah. I mean, those injuries to Jota and Diaz has just come at the absolute worst time, haven't they? And I've been banging the drum all season for why didn't he replace Minamino and or Keita? You know, I can understand letting one of them go, but not both of them when you're not bringing in someone else. Because they were massively influential, weren't they, for winning the two things that Liverpool won last season. And to just kind of discard them without any thought of a replacement kind of highlights, I don't know, maybe a little bit of arrogance. But either way, Liverpool have 3 fit forwards, so those are the 3 forwards who are playing.
Yeah, I'd have gone with Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain if he was actually in the Champions League squad, but that feels like a bit of a mistake as well. I'm going to go Salah and Núñez, and obviously gone with the 4-4-2, so don't need a third man. But Lynchy, I can't remember how many midfielders you picked, but how many forwards are you going to pick?
Yeah, so my midfield was sort of, if they're sticking with the diamond, Milner to hold, Henderson on the right, Jones on the left, Elliott in the sort of number 10 position that Firmino's been playing. So that leaves you can play Firmino up top maybe to give Salah a rest, and maybe Núñez alongside him, because I think he sort of, it'd just be good to keep him playing and see if he can get goals and get his confidence up. He just needs to get minutes in his legs, I think, and to sort of, score as many goals as he can to make himself feel, you know, like he's a big part of this team if he can, and then it, you know, leaves you Salah then to maybe come off the bench later on to give him a rest and hopefully keep everyone in shape for Tottenham.
Yeah, I'm sure Salah will play a part at some point if he gutted. If he didn't, Kiefer, who are you going to pick?
I've given you my midfield 4, so I've gone for Jones at the top of the diamond, which a bit of a wild shout, but you know, why not be fun with it? And then obviously I've gone for Núñez and Salah as the 2. I just think obviously, you know, kind of keep them, you know, that kind of partnership, you know, kind of give it as many minutes as possible, especially with such a big game at the weekend. I think there was, you know, more promising signs, wasn't there, on Saturday in attack? I mean, I know obviously they didn't finish the chances, but Núñez had a couple, didn't he? You know, those runs that we kind of talked about in his absence, they, you know, still come in. It just feels like maybe he just needs that extra kind of ounce of composure, and you know, hopefully if he can you know, get another couple of goals tomorrow, or even just another couple of chances, and just maybe get a bit more used to kind of, you know, what it's like to be a Liverpool attacker kind of thing. It's only going to help him. So yeah, I won't be giving him the night off, and same with Salah. You know, I know he scored the goal against City, but you know, just kind of again play him into the form that, you know, that he was in this time last year, really, when he was arguably the best player on the planet. So yeah, I've got those 2 up top, and giving Firmino the night off. I think he started the last 5 or 6 games or so. So it's just a case with Liverpool being so light on forward options. It's more just a case of not to risk anything ahead of Tottenham, where I'd put him back in.
Yeah, absolutely makes sense. Well, we'll do match predictions next. I think that's going to be a pretty tough game to try and predict, to be honest. We don't know quite what Liverpool are going to do, quite what Napoli are going to do. I'll go for 1-1. Gorsty, what do you reckon?
I've kind of been like Mark Lawrence on this pod with the predictions, where he famously predicted Liverpool to go 4 seasons invincible or whatever it is. But I can't see Liverpool winning this tomorrow. If Napoli show up intent to get the 3 points, I think Napoli are going to win because, as Klopp said today, they're the informed team in Europe. They've scored 50 goals in all competitions already, which is an astounding amount. You think Liverpool will score 41, and they scored 16 of those in 2 games. Absolutely flying. Kvaratskhelia is that how you pronounce it, Matt? I'm looking forward to watching him. So yeah, I can see Napoli winning, in all honesty.
Lynchy, same for you, or did Liverpool get something?
Yeah, I just think it's going to be a bit of a mixed team for Liverpool, and so that sort of rhythm won't be there. And if Napoli turn up, even if they make a couple of changes, I still think they'll, just because they feel like they're absolutely flying, will probably have enough to win the game. And so, yeah, I think maybe Napoli 3-1.
Kiefer?
Yeah, I'm going to go full house of defeats here. Probably all the reasons that the two lads have said. They're flying. They're one of the unbeaten teams in Europe. 5 points clear top of Serie A. As Gorsty says, if they come with kind of any intent or just kind of anything close to full strength, they'll have a field day. And why would they not? They're coming to Anfield. Why not try and get that win? They haven't won here, have they? In the last 4 visits or whatever. So. Be a big statement as well. I know obviously Liverpool aren't flying, but what a statement that would send to around Europe as well, and if not domestically in their league. So feel 3-1, but might be a bit. I can't see Liverpool scoring, to be honest. Just the amount of chances they're missing. So I don't want to go 3-0. That's too harsh, isn't it? I'll go 2-0.
Well, it's not quite as harsh as what Theo said a couple of weeks ago before the Manchester City game. So hopefully we're all as wrong as he was then. But I think we shall leave it there for now. Jurgen Klopp and James Milner's press conferences both up on the Blood Red YouTube channel if you've not watched those yet. Open training to come very shortly, just kicking off as we record this podcast. So that should be up as well a little bit later on. But until next time from all of us here, it's goodbye for now.